Hello, lovelies, and welcome back to Cappuccinos and Confidence with Nefe. I'm Nefe, your confidence coach, and this is a space where we have honest conversations about confidence, self-trust, personal growth, and becoming the woman you know you're capable of being. So, grab your coffee, tea, water, or whatever you are sipping today, and let us settle in. This August, we're talking about routines. But we're not talking about the routines that require you to wake up at 5 a.m., complete a full workout, meditate for 30 minutes, journal for another 30 minutes, and somehow start work looking refreshed, peaceful, and ready to take over the world. We are talking about routines that support real women living real lives. Routines for the woman with a commute, the woman working from home, the woman building something alongside her job, the woman managing her health, the woman caring for others, the woman who is ambitious but also tired sometimes. Today's episode is called Build a Morning Routine that supports the woman you're becoming. And I want to begin with a woman called Maya. It is Sunday evening, and Maya has decided that Monday is going to be the beginning of her new life. She has watched several morning routine videos online. She has saved a collection of beautiful Pinterest posts. She has seen successful women explain that waking up before sunrise completely transformed their confidence, health, productivity, and income. Maya feels inspired. She takes out a fresh notebook and writes down her new morning routine. It goes like this. Wake up at 5 a.m., drink water, meditate for 20 minutes, journal for 20 minutes, exercise for 45 minutes, read 10 pages of a personal development book, prepare a nutritious breakfast, complete her skincare routine, review her goals, plan the day. She looks at the list and thinks, this is it. This is how I finally become disciplined. On Monday, she does almost everything. She is exhausted, but she feels proud. On Tuesday, she presses snooze once, but she still completes most of the routine. By Wednesday, her body feels heavy. She went to bed late the night before. Work has been demanding, and the idea of getting up at 5 a.m. feels almost offensive. The alarm goes off. She switches it off. She tells herself she'll rest for 5 more minutes. She wakes up again at 7:15 a.m. Suddenly, she is rushing. She gets dressed quickly, leaves without breakfast, and starts the day feeling stressed. But the most difficult part is not the fact that she missed her routine. It is what she tells herself afterwards. I have no discipline. I never stick to anything. This is why I'm not where I want to be. Other women can do this. Why can't I? One difficult morning becomes evidence against her entire character. Perhaps you have experienced your own version of this. You created a routine with the best intentions. You followed it for a few days, then life happened. The routine slipped and you decided that the problem must be you. But sometimes, lovelies, you are not failing the routine. Sometimes the routine is failing you. Today, we're not just looking at 5 things Maya and perhaps all of us need to understand if we want to build a morning routine that supports our confidence, rather than become another standard we used against ourselves. Point 1. Stop creating routines for the imaginary version of yourself. The first thing Maya needs to recognize is that she did not create her routine for the woman living her actual life. She created it for an imaginary woman. This imaginary woman always goes to bed early. She wakes up before her alarm. She has endless energy. Her home is tidy. Her clothes are prepared. And her breakfast ingredients are always in the fridge. She never has a late meeting, a difficult night, a headache, an emotional week, or a delayed train. She never lies awake at midnight replaying something embarrassing she said 5 years ago. She sounds lovely. but she's not currently living Maya's life. The real Maya often finishes work late. She has a commute. She does not naturally feel alert at 5 a.m. She needs more sleep than the routine allows. She's already carrying a lot of responsibility, and her new routine has added another demanding project to the beginning of her day. This is something many of us do when we decide to change. We create plans for the person we believe we should be rather than the person we are. We ask, what would the most successful woman do? What would the most productive woman do? What would the most disciplined woman do? Then we build a routine around this imagined woman and expect her real body or our real body, real energy, and real schedule to keep up. When they do not, we blame ourselves. But a routine cannot support you if it refuses to acknowledge your reality. Before creating a morning routine, you need to look honestly at your life. What time do you normally go to bed? How much rest does your body actually need? What responsibilities do you have in the morning? Do you commute? Are you caring for children or relatives? Are you managing a health condition? What is your energy usually like when you wake up? This is not about making excuses, it's about gathering information. Confidence requires honesty. You cannot build self-trust by repeatedly promising yourself things that do not fit your life. The woman you're becoming is not asking you to ignore the woman you are today. She needs the woman you are today to carry her forward. That means your current needs matter. Your current capacity matters. Your current season matters. After her third failed attempt at a 5 a.m. routine, Maya finally asked herself a better question. Instead of asking, what would a perfect disciplined woman do? She asked, what would genuinely support me in the mornings I actually have? That question changes everything because the purpose of a routine is not to prove that you can force yourself to do difficult things. The purpose is to create enough support and structure to make your day feel more manageable. A routine should reduce pressure, not create more of it. Part 2. Build the routine around how you want to feel. Okay. So once Maya stopped designing her morning for an imaginary woman, she has another decision to make. What does she actually want her morning routine to do for her? At first, her answer is, I want to become more productive. But when she thinks about it more deeply, productivity is not really the feeling she's searching for. She wants to feel calm. She wants to feel prepared. She wants to arrive at work without feeling as though she has already spent the whole morning chasing the clock. This is an important distinction. Many of us begin by choosing activities. We decide we should journal, exercise, read, meditate, plan, and prepare breakfast. But we do not stop to think what we want those activities to create. Before choosing your habits, ask yourself, how do I want my mornings to feel? Perhaps you want to feel calm. Perhaps you want to feel energized. Perhaps you want to feel spiritually grounded. Perhaps you want to feel less scattered. Perhaps you want to feel more prepared and in control of your time. Choose one or two feelings. These feelings become the purpose of your routine. If you want to feel calm, your routine might include 10 minutes without your phone. If you want to feel spiritually grounded, you might begin with a prayer, gratitude, or reading something encouraging. If you want to feel prepared, you might check your calendar and choose the most important things you need to do. If you want to feel energized, you might stretch, walk, shower, or eat a proper breakfast. The routine should help create the feeling. Maya realizes that her previous routine made her feel rushed, tired, and as though she was constantly behind. It may have looked productive on paper, but it was creating the opposite of what she needed. So she makes a new rule. Every habit in her routine must have a purpose. She's not going to journal simply because successful women online say they journal. She's not going to exercise at 5:30 a.m. if it leaves her exhausted for the rest of the day. She's not going to include an activity just because it looks impressive. Instead, she asks herself, does this help me feel calm? Does this help me feel prepared? Does this support my body? Does this help me connect with myself? This is where routines and identity begin to connect. Your routine is not only shaping what you do, it is shaping the way you relate to yourself. When you allow yourself to begin the day without immediately opening your emails, you are saying, my attention belongs to me too. When you eat breakfast, drink water, or take medication, you are saying, my body deserves care. When you pray, reflect, or sit quietly for a few minutes, you are saying, my inner life matters. When you choose your priorities instead of reacting to everyone else's demand, you are saying, I can lead myself. These are small actions, but they create evidence. The confidence grows from evidence. You do not become a calm, intentional, or self-trusting woman because you repeat the words in front of a mirror. You begin becoming her when you practice choices that align with that identity. Part 3. Choose 3 morning anchors. So Maya now knows that she wants her mornings to feel calm and prepared, but she still has a tendency to turn every goal into a long checklist. So instead of creating another 12-step routine, she chooses 3 morning anchors. A morning anchor is a small action you can return to most days, even when your time, energy, and schedule change. Maya chooses drink a glass of water, spend 5 minutes praying or sitting quietly, choose her 3 priorities for the day. That is all. 3 anchors are not dramatic. Nobody is likely to watch a video of Maya drinking water and checking her diary and think, what an extraordinary transformation. But the routine is not designed for an audience. It is designed to support her. The water helps her wake up and care for her body. The quiet time helps her reconnect with herself before the demands of the day begin. Choosing her priorities help her feel prepared rather than reactive. Your 3 anchors may be completely different. You might choose to make the bed, eat breakfast, and avoid your phone for the first 10 minutes. You might choose prayer, medication, and a short walk. You might choose opening the curtains, getting dressed, and reviewing your diary. There is no perfect set of anchors. The question is whether they meet your needs. Your anchors should also be small enough to complete on an ordinary morning, not only on a Monday when you feel motivated, not only when you have slept well, not only when the rest of your life is going smoothly. A routine that only works under perfect conditions is not a routine. It is a special occasion. This is why small habits can be so powerful. They give you something steady to return to. They protect you from the all or nothing mindset. Many of us believe that if we cannot complete the full routine, there's no point in doing any of it. If we cannot exercise for 45 minutes, we do not move for 5. If we do not have time to journal for 3 pages, we do not write 1 sentence. So if we cannot plan for the whole week, we avoid looking at the calendar altogether. But self-trust is often built in the middle ground. It is built when you say, I can not do the full version today, but I'm still going to do something that supports me. Maya's 3 anchors begin to change the way she sees herself. Each morning that she completes them, she gathers a little evidence. She is someone who considers her own needs. She is someone who can create structure. She is someone who follows through on small promises. And because the promises are realistic, she no longer starts each day setting herself up to feel like a failure. Part 4. Create different versions for different mornings. Although Maya's 3 anchors are helpful, no 2 mornings are exactly the same. Some days she wakes up with plenty of energy. Some days she has to leave home earlier. Some days she has slept badly. Some days work is unusually demanding. Instead of expecting herself to produce the same performance every morning, she creates 3 versions of her routine. A 15-minute version, a 30-minute version, and a 60-minute version. The 15-minute version is her minimum. This is the version she uses on busy mornings, low energy mornings, or mornings when something unexpected happens. She drinks water, gets ready, takes a few quiet minutes, and looks at her priorities. It is simple, but it still helps her feel connected to herself. The 30-minute routine is her standard version. She has time to get ready, eat something, stretch, pray, and plan her day. The 60-minute routine is her spacious version. She uses it at weekends or on slower work from home days. It may include journaling, a longer walk, breakfast, and more time to think about the day ahead. The key is that Maya no longer treats the longest version as the only version that counts. Her routine becomes a menu rather than a test. She can look at her time, energy, and responsibilities and choose the version that fits. This is a much kinder and more sustainable way to build consistency. You can also think of your mornings as green, amber, and red mornings. A green morning is a higher energy morning. You may feel able to complete your spacious routine. An amber morning is an ordinary or slightly tired morning. You choose your standard routine. A red morning is a low energy, difficult, or high pressure morning. You complete the minimum essentials and focus on supporting yourself. This is not about using your energy as an excuse to avoid everything. It is about responding to yourself honestly. You can be disciplined and self-aware. You can challenge yourself without ignoring yourself. You can remain committed without demanding exactly the same thing from your body every day. Maya also realizes that some of her pressure in her mornings is created the night before. She often goes to bed without checking her calendar. Her bag is not packed. She has not chosen what to wear. Her phone is not nearly out of charge. So her key has somehow moved to another part of the room. So she introduces a 10-minute evening reset. She prepares her clothes, packs her bags, checks the next day's appointments, puts her keys in the same place, writes down the first thing she needs to do. This is not a complicated evening routine. It is simply an act of care for tomorrow's version of herself. A calm morning often begins the night before. When you remove small obstacles in advance, you reduce the number of decisions and mini emergencies waiting for you when you wake up. Maya also begins protecting the first 10 minutes of her morning. Previously, she reached for her phone before she had even sat up properly. Within minutes, she had read work emails, checked messages, seen the news, and compared her life to someone on social media. She had entered everyone else's world before entering her own. Now she gives herself 10 minutes. She opens the curtains, drinks the water, prays, breathes, checks in with herself. 10 minutes may not seem significant, but it changes the energy of her morning. She is no longer beginning the day entirely in reaction mode. She's practicing self-leadership. Part 5. Use your routine to build self-trust, not perfection. For a few weeks, Maya's new routine works well. Then, one morning, everything goes wrong. She sleeps through her alarm, she wakes up late, the train is delayed, she forgot something at home. By the time she reaches work, she feels flustered and frustrated. The old Maya would have turned this morning into a story about who she is or who she was. She would have said something like, I knew I would not keep it up. I'm back to my old habits. I have no discipline. But this time she pauses. She tells herself, this morning did not go well. That does not mean I have failed. At lunchtime, she drinks some water. She checks her priorities. She takes a few quiet breaths before returning to work. She restarts the day at 1 p.m. This is one of the most important parts of building routine. A routine will sometimes fall apart. You will oversleep. You will feel unwell. Somebody will need you. Your child may have a difficult morning. Your commute may be disrupted. You may simply have no desire to follow the plan. The real confidence work is not creating a life in which nothing ever goes wrong. It is learning not to abandon yourself when it does. Can you have a difficult morning without turning it into a judgment about your character? Can you say that routine needs adjusting instead of I never stick to anything? Can you begin again at 10 a.m.? Can you choose one small anchor in the afternoon? Can you return the following morning without shame? Consistency does not mean never missing a day. Consistency means returning. It means knowing what supports you and coming back to it after life interrupts. This is how a morning routine can build self-trust. Every time you keep a realistic promise, you create evidence. You said you would drink water, and you did. You said you would spend 5 minutes in prayer, and you did. You said you would check your priorities, and you did. One promise becomes evidence. More evidence becomes a pattern. That pattern begins shaping your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who cares for yourself, someone who can create structure, someone who can rely on herself. But the most powerful evidence is that you can perform perfectly, or you don't have to perform perfectly. It is that you will come back to yourself after an imperfect day. That you will not use one disrupted morning as permission to abandon the whole routine. That you can repair a broken promise without attacking yourself. This is compassionate discipline. Discipline is often presented as being strict, pushing harder, and refusing to make allowances. But real discipline can also sound like, I know today is difficult, so I'm going to do the smallest version. I missed yesterday, but I'm returning today. I need to change this routine because it no longer supports my life. I'm not going to speak to myself cruelly in the name of improvement. This is the kind of routine that supports the woman you are becoming. Your 7-day morning challenge. Before we sum up, I want to give you a simple challenge for the next 7 days. First, choose how you want to feel in the morning. Perhaps you want to feel calm, prepared, grounded, or energized. Next, choose 3 small morning anchors that support that feeling. Then create a minimum version of your routine that takes no more than 15 minutes. This is a version you can use when time is short or your energy is low. For the next 7 days, also try to protect the first 10 minutes of your mornings from emails, social media, and the news. Let yourself arrive in your own life first. At the end of each morning, complete this sentence. This morning, I supported myself by ... Perhaps you supported yourself by drinking water. Perhaps you ate breakfast. Perhaps you chose the minimum routine instead of doing nothing. Perhaps you prepared something the night before. Perhaps you recognized that you needed more rest. At the end of the 7 days, ask yourself, what has helped me feel the way I want to feel? What felt realistic? What created unnecessary pressure? Which anchors made the biggest difference? What would I like to continue? What can I make simpler? The purpose of this challenge is not to prove that you can complete a perfect week. It is to learn what genuinely supports you. Summing up. So let us return to Maya. A few weeks after giving up her impossible 5 a.m. routine, her mornings do not look especially dramatic. It is not waking up before sunrise every morning. She is not completing 10 personal development activities before breakfast. Some mornings are still busy. Sometimes she presses snooze. Sometimes she uses a 15-minute version for several days in a row. Sometimes important has changed, but something important has changed. Maya no longer begins the day at war with herself. She has stopped building routines for an imaginary woman. She knows how she wants her mornings to feel. She has 3 simple anchors. She has different versions for different levels of time and energy. And when the routine slips, she returns instead of turning one imperfect morning into evidence that she cannot be trusted. Her routine may look smaller than the ones she originally created, but it is doing something much more powerful. It is helping her build a relationship with herself. It is teaching her that she can listen to her needs. She can create structure without becoming rigid. She can keep small promises. She can adjust when life changes, and she can begin again. Lovelies, the woman you are becoming does not need you to push or punish the woman you are today. We need you to support her. Your morning routine does not need to be impressive. It needs to feel like a place you can return to. A small choice that says, I am here, I am listening, I know what helps me, and I am learning how to take care of myself as I grow. So this week, choose 3 anchors, create your minimum routine, protect a few minutes of your morning. Remember that a gentle beginning can still lead to a meaningful and productive day. You do not need to wake up at 5 a.m. You do not need to do everything. You simply need to begin in a way that supports you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If today's episode helped you, please follow or subscribe to Cappuccinos in Confidence with Nefe wherever you're listening. Share this episode with a woman who keeps trying to build better routines but feels as though she has to do everything perfectly. You can also read the accompanying blog post, The Soft Life Morning Routine, How to Start Your Day Without Rushing, on nefeaguntoye.com. This blog includes practical 15, 30 and 16-minute morning routines that you can adapt to your own life, time and energy. And if you're ready for personal support with building confidence, trusting yourself, and creating habits that align with the woman you are becoming, you can explore my confidence coaching sessions on the website. Until next time, take care of yourself, start small, and remember that every gentle promise you keep is helping you become a woman who knows she can rely on herself. You've got this, and I'm right here with you. With love, Nefe. Bye!